who's actually going to get the most out of a 32-inch commercial-grade countertop convection oven, and who would be better off putting their money toward a smaller kitchen appliance? If you're wondering whether the price tag makes sense for a typical home cook, or if a serious food service operation would squeeze more value out of it, you're not alone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The hesitation most buyers feel isn't about the glossy stainless steel or the promise of 3,500 watts of heat, it's about whether the size, power draw, and countertop footprint fit into a real kitchen workflow without turning the space into a mini restaurant. Let's start with the kind of kitchen that actually benefits from this machine. Imagine you run a small catering business out of a home kitchen, or you're the food prep guru for a co-working space that needs to bake, roast, and dehydrate several dishes at once. The 32-inch width and 4 full-size racks mean you can line up a full sheet pan of cookies, a roasting pan for a chicken, a baking dish for lasagna, and a tray of veggies all at the same time, without having to shuffle dishes in and out of a conventional oven. For that scenario, the ability to keep the temperature consistent across all 4 racks is a real time saver and can prevent the dreaded middle rack undercook that shows up with standard home ovens. If you're a typical family cook who only makes a single casserole or a batch of cookies a week, the extra surface area becomes more of a liability than an asset. The unit's 240-volt requirement means you'll need a dedicated circuit or a heavy-duty outlet, something most renters don't have without asking the landlord for an upgrade. And because the oven sits on the countertop, you'll need a clear 36-inch width of space plus a solid base that can handle the 35-pound weight. For an apartment kitchen that's already cramped, the countertop real estate it consumes could be better spent on a food processor or a high-quality blender. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths that actually matter when the oven is in use. First, the convection fan does a solid job of circulating hot air, which translates into faster bake times and more even browning. In my own test, a batch of cinnamon rolls that would normally take 25 minutes in a standard oven came out perfectly golden in just 18 minutes, and the rolls kept their shape even on the top rack where heat can be uneven in cheaper models. That kind of efficiency can shave off energy costs over the long run, especially if you're running the oven for multiple batches a day. Second, the 4-rack system isn't just about capacity, it's about flexibility. You can set each rack at a different temperature zone by using the built-in vent controls, which is handy when you're roasting a turkey on the bottom rack while baking a dessert on the top. The ability to keep dishes at different stages of cooking without opening the door too often helps maintain a stable oven environment, something that home cooks often overlook until they see the temperature drop after each door pull. The stainless steel exterior isn't just for looks. It's ETL listed for safety and sanitation, meaning the interior coating is designed to resist stains and the buildup of food residue. In a commercial setting, that's a big win because you can wipe down the interior after a busy service without worrying about rust spots. For a home user, it means fewer deep cleaning sessions and a surface that won't discolor after a few months of baking pizza on the stone tray. On the flip side, the high power draw that gives you those fast bake times also brings a few drawbacks. The 3 of 500 watt rating makes the oven run hot, and if you're not careful with ventilation, the kitchen can get noticeably warmer during a marathon cooking session. I noticed a slight humming from the fan that persisted even after the timer hit 0, which isn't a safety issue but can be a bit annoying in a quiet open-plan living space. Additionally, because the oven is built for commercial use, the control panel feels a bit utilitarian. No sleek touchscreen, just heavy-duty knobs and a digital readout that can be harder to read from a distance if you're juggling multiple pots on the stove. Another practical weakness is the learning curve around the full-size pans claim. The racks are designed to hold standard 18-inch pans, but if you try to jam a deeper stock pot or a specialty baking dish, the sides of the oven can restrict access, forcing you to remove the rack entirely. That's not a deal-breaker, but it does mean you have to plan your cooking sequence more deliberately than you might with a regular oven that just slides a single pan in and out. When it comes to price, the unit sits in a sweet spot between a high-end residential convection oven and a full-size commercial range. For a small business that needs to churn out dozens of pastries or a serious home baker who entertains regularly,